Here we are back again with another Doctales with Cocktails. A little different night. We've been traveling this week. We're going to talk a bit about that. And so it was a little bit of a challenge with work and so forth to do this on Wednesday night. Actually, impossible.
I don't think that anybody cares. I think that just the fact that they're here watching us do Doctales with Cocktails during the week, they'll find us when they know we're on. So anyway, welcome to another great show. Of course, Tim's got all kinds of surprises for you, as well as me, and I'm just going to play along as he gives us some of the memes of the week, some crazy stories, and we're going to give you a little update about our recent trip to Malibu to attend the great microbiome conference.
If you have not watched any of the episodes that we have interviewed Dr. Sabine Hazen, you are literally wasting your life because they are so good. The things that she has done with her research and with fecal transplant will literally make your head explode.
I think actually most of the interviews we did with her, the earlier ones, they're not on video. You have to listen to those. Scroll
There's
back,
a couple
type
with
in her
on
name.
video.
There's a couple with live video. We've had a bunch, but it was so fascinating. And we're going to talk about what we learned at the conference. Some of the physicians that spoke there were amazing, and the research going on in gut health and curing and healing illness with the research that they've done. Met a lot of new great friends, a surprise celebrity or two-ish, 1.5. And
depends on your definition of celebrity.
I don't know, anybody that's got connections to people that are on TV that are famous is a celebrity to me. All right, Tim, let's kick it off. What do you got for us?
Well, I think the first one is going to be Idiocracy as prophecy. Okay, so let's get this on here and let's make us go away. Whatever, we'll stay there.
I'd like to see the comments too.
Okay, so this is fascinating. This is really fascinating because this is an application form for the Harris for President. Sorry, it makes me throw up in my mouth. To work for the Harris for President campaign or whatever it's called, inauguration. I don't know. Anyways, if you read at the very, very bottom, it says Harris for President requires employees to be up to date, quotation marks, on all their COVID-19 vaccinations as prescribed by the CDC. Well, guess what? The CDC doesn't prescribe a damn thing because it's an advisory board and it doesn't have a license to practice medicine, you regulatory assholes.
Tell us how you really feel.
It doesn't. And if you like
they
this is proof.
Guidelines that everybody follows.
Guidelines that can bite me. That's what that can do. So,
and the comments will keep popping up on there, I'm sure.
Well, let's just do this. Let's see.
Anyway, so I wonder how many boosters that entails at this point.
Well, right now, if you took all of the shots and all of the boosters, so the first series is 2, we're up to 7 boosters, so it's 9 shots total. Okay.
Wow.
So this is
seriously.
This is
9.
This is
total?
yeah, right.
Come on. How many
9
variants of the virus have
there
been?
Well, okay, right. And how many updates of the
and what number are we on now?
COVID shot has there
and
been?
How many other shots for a cold have you people taken in your life?
So this is the reality from somebody who actually sees tons of patients.
Oh, you're flicking crap my way, are you?
No, I'm not flicking crap your way at all. But I'm actually still seeing patients. I worked all the way through COVID as you did. Now I'm working now. Guess what? Right now,
point taken.
COVID is a freaking cold. That's what it is. It's a cold.
Pretty much.
But it's a cold that all these 75-year-olds want a $1,500 antiviral medication that is literally a repurposed HIV drug that failed. So Paxlovid is 2 HIV drugs that failed.
Have you asked any of
them?
That
they pull off the shelf, blew the dust off, and like Austin Powers thought it out and gave it to people because it has some modest effect against COVID. And people come in demanding this. And Molnupiravir, Merck's drug, is the same thing, and it does even less. Like, it is absolutely, completely crazy. It's a cold. And I look at people and I go, if this was 2018 and you had the exact symptoms you have now, what would you do? And they look at me and they go, nothing. And I go, because that's the right answer. It doesn't matter what year it is. It matters how sick you are. Do I write it? Yes. Is it appropriate for some people? I think it absolutely is. But not according to the advertisement. Well, my symptoms might get a lot worse. Right now it's mild, but I got asthma and my symptoms might get a lot worse. Yeah, and a monkey might fly out of your ass and sing yippity doodle whatever. Like, no, it's complete horseshit. It drives me absolutely, completely insane.
So they really
COVID right now is a cold. Will it change? Could it morph into something more dangerous than a cold? Yes, that's possible. And if you read Geert Vanden Bosch, he's freaking out that in highly vaccinated societies, it's going to become much more dangerous. So I don't know. All I know is what I see with my two eyes, what I treat when I go to work, and right now it's a cold. People that had influenza, by and large, not exclusively, are way sicker. I cannot remember the last time I sent a patient to the hospital because of COVID. I honestly can't. Like, it just doesn't happen. So like, 9 shots, you're going to take an experimental mRNA agent for the sniffles. That is enough reason to not vote for her. Trust me, I can give you several more.
Yeah, just mind-boggling that they would endorse that. So what?
That's a
have
cult.
the patients ever?
That's a cult.
Have you ever asked them what they think Paxlovid's going to do? Do they just think it's going to prevent?
No, they
them from
think it's
getting
the
worse?
advertisement. The advertisement is, if COVID, Paxlovid. Like, literally, they made it rhyme, right? And then they have some guy there who is like 40 years younger than most of the people I see. Well, I got asthma and my symptoms are mild, but you never know. And it's like, no, that's lying. Because you base this based on how long you've been sick and how sick you're getting. And most people by day 2 are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So by definition, they need zero treatment. Like none, like nothing. No treatment, zero. Not a $1,500 repurposed Austin Powers drug.
And you know who's making bank off of that?
Pfizer. No, like, it's completely crazy. I'd probably be fired if my bosses watch this, but I honestly don't really give a shit, because there's good medicine and there's bad medicine. There is probably a place for this drug. There's definitely a place for it in certain situations, but it's really for trying to prevent people from dying or going to the hospital.
Right.
Those are bad things, right? Like, that was Peter McCullough said forever, right? Hospitalization and death, hospitalization and death. And yet somehow we have morphed into this.
I wonder if there's different parts of the country that prescribes more of it or less of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
How are you going to get that data?
Well, right. But the other part of this that just blows my mind is they're mandating a vaccine to work for the Harris campaign that clearly does not stop transmission, where there is reasonably good evidence that the more COVID shots you get, the higher the risk you have of getting COVID. But yet they still demand this because it's a cult. It's not that's not, I mean, and the CDC still parades this stuff. Get all your kids updated on their flu shot and the COVID vaccine. I was going to say the flu shot is almost as worthless. No, it's almost as worthless as the COVID vaccine, but it's probably not dangerous. So there's that. But for some people it is. So, like, this idea that you're going to vaccinate your way out of a respiratory illness that's a cold by getting a shot in the arm has been proven that doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. Flu shot does basically zero.
I wonder if you could still just get Paxlovid from the pharmacy. It says in here that you could.
I don't think that. I think that's all
as
done.
of March 2024. A state licensed pharmacist can prescribe Paxlovid.
And, like, I mean, talk about a scam.
Right.
Talk about a scam where you change the requirements for prescribing so a pharmacist can dole it out. Wow. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just get it at 7-Eleven and Apu can give it to you. Get away from these snack treats. They are very high in fat and salt. I will give you the Paxlovid and a Coca-Cola. Like, I mean, seriously, it's completely.
Throw some pork rinds in there.
Well, the pork rinds, at least if you're on keto or healthy. Rest of that shit. It's like, remember that? Mr. Simpson, get away from the heavily salt-laden snack treats. And so, like, it's just, like, it boggles.
Oh my gosh.
I don't understand this because it just seems so common sense. And the hive mind has actually understood this because they can't sell these things anymore. So the population gets it. It's like, okay, we tried that. It didn't work. Next. And it's only the true believers. So whatever.
I want to read the comments. So I'm going to have to log in myself.
Oh, yes.
Because you won't let me. Anyway.
All right. Next.
What you got for us next?
Next is right here. Oh, it's Idiocracy is Prophecy again. What I was supposed to do, I missed the bumper. The last one was supposed to be Safe and Effective.
Well, since most people aren't watching anything,
we'll just do the safe.
That scared the heck out of me.
It's amazing. Okay, but the gunshot, actually, let's do that again because it's so much fun.
Hang on, kids.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
Appropriate for this story because this story is this one. Again, we're living in a simulation because, according to the Blaze, Secret Service leaves Trump vulnerable once again after female agent abandons post to breastfeed.
And the picture is, showing them surrounding him at his near-death assassination. And I wonder if they're referring to that Secret Service agent there.
What they did,
because that's the only female in the picture. Or
if you read the story, she was, if you read the headline, it's a little deceiving because it says she left her post to breastfeed, but it does not say who she was breastfeeding.
Okay, that's disgusting and
so
racist.
No,
not racist.
No,
that is just
no.
It doesn't say who.
I have to clarify so all these pervies that listen to us aren't freaking out.
What are you talking about? Why is anybody but you going to think that?
Well, it just said breastfeed.
Yes.
It didn't say who.
Well, they have to give the name of her child.
Well, maybe it wasn't a child.
Oh, stop it. Okay, this is where you get out of line, and I have to reel you back in. That's not even funny. I'm not laughing.
It happens.
Right. Moving right along.
So apparently,
I get
if you
having
go ahead.
to breastfeed on the job, but if it's your Secret Service and your detail requires you to stand your post, there better be somebody replacing you, taking your position. So maybe there was someone taking her position. Maybe they job share. Like, I don't know what the term is.
And that's unclear if you read the story.
So I don't think it's fair to beat up on someone that is breastfeeding.
No, I think it's entirely fair because you shouldn't be an active duty Secret Service agent.
Why not?
If you're breastfeeding.
Why not?
If you sprain your freaking ankle playing basketball and you're 6'8" and 320 and you can't run around killing people trying to kill the president, then you shouldn't do the job either. You should take some time off.
Who said that breastfeeding women couldn't do their job?
As an active duty presidential detail Secret Service agent? Yeah, right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put her in a jet and as a fighter pilot so she can pull 9 Gs on her gigantically milk-filled breasts.
So you're saying,
how would that be?
So you're saying someone that has breasts that are engorged with milk can't guard the president?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
As opposed to like some other overweight fat guy with a gut?
Overweight fat guy with a gut doesn't get that job. Period. They're not the sheriff's department in every sheriff's department in the United States.
Oh, just because you're breastfeeding doesn't mean that you have breasts that are in the way of you physically doing your job. I call BS on that myself. Now, if she's leaving to take time off and her position, her job, her space, her guard is being compromised, she's not, there's no one there, that's different.
I mean, come on. Come on.
I don't
When
know.
you're nursing a kid, especially an older infant, like you feel like you're gonna blow up, and there's no way.
Not always. Some women aren't.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Like, just like if you're a guy, you may be totally capable, and you injured yourself, then you shouldn't be doing that.
I don't
Like, you get taken off the job for a while. Like, whatever. She might be the greatest agent ever. The story, though, when you read it, is a little suspect. I will BS free MD this, because it's like, it was apparently she got her husband and her kids into a restricted area, which is completely verboten, apparently.
Mhm.
And they don't know if she got somebody to help her out or whatever. For me, just the fact that you're a nursing mother in a essentially, policing role like that, I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous.
I don't.
Well, good for you. We're going to disagree on this then, because I'm like,
Now, I'm not saying that all women that are nursing could do it, but there's always exceptions.
what? So you're going to be the person? How are you going to? Okay, so you're going to write a bylaw for how engorged your breasts get to be on the presidential detail, right? Okay, I'm going to sign up for that job. I'm going to be like, well, no, like, okay, let me see. All right, you got to take 2 weeks off. You're good. You're good. You can get the bulletproof vest over those jugs. I mean, the fact we're even talking about this is insane.
You brought it up. I bet you if she had
Insane.
kept her, went to the bathroom, locked herself up,
No, I think
did her
somebody.
thing,
I think somebody was like,
nobody would have even known.
no. I
and
think
she would have done her job
I
well.
think what gave it away. I think what gave it away is somebody went into the restricted area and heard, and it's like, who the hell brought the freaking infant into this place?
Seriously, women have I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone I know that ran a marathon right up while they were pregnant. Come on.
I don't care.
I don't know that.
I don't care. Like, that's fine. That's fine. I mean,
you don't know
we
what
worked with
capacity she's guarding the president's Secret
we
Service.
worked
She
with-
might.
What, the Nintendo?
Oh, stop.
We worked with tons of nursing mothers and women late in their pregnancy that were physicians and nurses and whatever, and it was perfectly fine. It's undisruptive. It's wonderful that we can make these lanes for women to maintain their job and nurse until their kid is, 2 or 3 or how freaking old they want to do. Like, Bart, what was it? What's her name? Who had the plastic surgery misadventure? Joan Rivers. She always said, I just nurse them to 18 and then let the boyfriend or the girlfriend take over from there. So whatever you want to do, we have made room for that. It's great. I love it. Secret Service and fighter piloting, probably not.
Well, let's see what your friends have to say. Heather says, sounds like she's the easiest one to throw under the bus.
Well, no, because she was heavier, because she was so engorged with milk. Although I don't know that, because I have not done my extensive testing, because no one has signed me up for that yet. Wow.
Well, let's agree to disagree partly on that one and move right along.
Okay. So we're doing good. All right, here we go. This is a lovely picture of a hike we took in the hills of Malibu. I wonder, I get why people live there, because it's so
very beautiful.
Very
It was a dry heat. I even got cold at night because it dropped down to like 72 degrees.
Well, we're so acclimatized now. We landed in LA and we got into the rental car, and May turned the heat on because it was 68 outside and she was freezing to death.
Yes, 68 is chilly when you're used to 98.
Well, and 80% humidity. Yes. So we got a couple pictures here. There's May happily hiking the Pacific Ocean off in the distance. And then This is a view from the Holy Family Chapel, which has a very interesting story because we made some really fast friends that were really, really cool. And this church is
Are you going to show us a
actually,
picture of the church?
well, just of the bell tower.
Oh, I have a picture
We're
of the
standing
church.
in the bell tower.
Oh, that's nice. I don't have that. Look at us having a
Look at us
great
in
time.
the bell tower.
Mhm.
So
You can't
anyways.
see the rat's nest in there by our feet.
But it was lovely. It was fine.
So that is a recently built, I think, is it 10 years
About
old?
10 years old.
Privately owned Catholic chapel. That is amazing.
Which was super fun.
I feel like you're back in, I don't know, it feels very European, Spanish style, gorgeous. And it is owned and built.
Well, I don't know that I think it's owned by the Catholic Church because that's how Catholic churches are. But it was the land was found and I think largely sponsored by Mel Gibson, who I had coffee with for 20 minutes after church, just chit-chatting with Mel. And then we started talking a bit about politics. And then we were both swearing in a Catholic church. And he's like, better stop swearing in a Catholic church. And unfortunately, I didn't ask him, but I don't think I'm going to be in Lethal Weapon 5.
Now, I put a plug in for myself because we actually met his sister and had a great time.
Absolutely lovely people.
Great time.
Just so much fun.
With her and her dear friend. And there was an opportunity for me to, she's like something about, we're talking about lunch and anything we could do to repay you. And I'm like, well, I do have this streak in me that does like to act a little bit. I've been known to carry on my character throughout the entire Halloween night.
Yeah, and I'm sure that will get you right to the top of the list.
Please give me a little bitty part in the next movie. I'd play a really good doctor. Anyway, so that was my.
I don't even know if I play a very good doctor anymore. Well, you want Baxel? So anyway, yeah. So it was really fun. We met some great people.
No, we did not get a picture with him. Although we have pictures of us out to dinner the night before
we're knuckleheads
with him, but he's sitting behind and we're talking.
Well, you don't want to be that kind of cheesy,
autograph
hunty people when you're trying
to be
normal.
There were so many people asking for photographs with them because we were out to dinner. The conference had dinner night and so many people asking for photos. And I was at the point where I'm like, I just can't. I can't do it.
We did the...
so sorry, everybody.
We learned a lot at the conference. It was Dr. Sabine Hazen put it on. And again, if you have not listened to those, you have to listen to them. Really, really good episodes we've done. And it was super exciting to meet people from even insane California that actually understand medical freedom, understand that, we've been largely co-opted by the pharma industry. There was still some pharma there, which was fine. I mean, there's room for everybody and lots of debate. Like we'd have one speaker and the next speaker would get up and disagree with them and we'd ask questions. And I was like, wow, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So they touched on, we had a lot of different topics from research and developments and where they're going at looking at gut health, the gut microbiome, markers and associated bacteria linked to conditions, especially things like colitis, celiac disease, autism, neurodegenerative things, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and also some cancer marker type stuff. There was a nice little discussion about diet and the role it plays in your gut, as well as what kind of diet is best for your gut microbiome. Definitely.
Yeah, that was a definite
food
debate.
Should be your best source instead of pills, but there was a lot of talk about supplements, butyrate being a big up and coming one. And we got to hear from another physician that we heard before at the Ocala conference talk about his experience using carnivore diet and ketogenic diet. And they did talk about that. Some other fascinating stuff from a few other researchers just about finding compounds and biochemical trace markers that they can now link to, especially the neurodegenerative things, ALS, MS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, like I mentioned, and tag those and hopefully reverse it. It sounds like there's a lot they've been doing already for autism. So that's a very promising. What else was I going to say as far as some of the other things there? Any other thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, it was amazing. It was on a 200-acre, vineyard in the mountains of Malibu, which is like,
I know. Oh, I was going to say they talked
like
a little bit about gut microbiome and the relationship to mental health and the importance
that was
of
actually really, really cool.
And of course,
the gut gut brain interface and how the vagus nerves goes all the way from your brain. It's one of the cranial nerves, and it innervates your gut, and how different microbes actually stimulate the nerve differently. So there's this huge gut brain connection, as far as sleep and mood, and that was really, really crazy.
Yeah, and how if your vagus nerve's not calmed down properly, definitely
then you're anxious,
upsets your gut microbiome, and vice versa. That axis is fascinating, and the link between anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, all of those things. So get your gut in check. But the fascinating thing was, especially from that one researcher, with all the stuff that we've done and used in psychiatry for brain issues, and I'm thinking major depression, anxiety disorders, they really haven't come very far and are now looking at some other things, but still not a lot of changes in the mental health world. And now they're focusing on the gut microbiome, and that could be the key. So, as always, cut the crap out of your diet. You are what you eat. You need to take care of your health and calm down and calm your vagus nerve down so that
you're not depressed. You just have shit for brains.
Wouldn't that be actually, if you had good shit for brains, that would be really good.
Then you'd be happy.
So it might behoove people to at some point get your gut microbiome tested. And so I'm going to give a little plug and shout out here, because they're not all the same. First off, if you're doing a microbiome test, you cannot do a blood test. I know that one of the practitioners I've worked with suggested I get a microbiome test, and it was going to be a blood draw. And I'm like, whoa, no chance. And as Dr. Hayes would say, there's no way you can check your true microbiome from a blood test. So if anybody offers that to you, decline, because it's not accurate. And number two, not all gut microbiome labs are the same. And in fact, you could probably speak a little bit more to the talk that they did on standardization.
Yeah, they're entirely all over the map. You have to be super careful. We will shout out for Sabine's company, Progenobiome. It's not inexpensive. It's not inexpensive because it's actually accurate. She has done, hundreds or thousands of these tests, and this, pay $150 and get your microbiome, and they're going to give you advice on it, is insane. Nobody even knows what a good microbiome really is. All of this is very conjecture based. It's just, I wouldn't, unless you were getting a consult from a physician who is doing the test and interpreting the test and knows exactly what they're doing, don't do it at all, because it's just confusion. That's the best. I mean, again, we don't give medical advice on here, but it's like 23andMe. It's like you do it 3 times. The first time you're half Inuit. The next time you're 3/4 Irish. It's like, it's just, I think it's nonsense.
The other, and so, bifidobacteria is the one important group in the gut that's really is a determinant of how well your gut health is. I want to talk a little bit quickly, though, about the lactobacillus and how people, look at their yogurt and their probiotics and prebiotics, which you might necessarily should not be taking, because it actually could be doing more harm.
No, if you overgrow lactobacillus, you are screwed.
So let's talk about lactobacillus. It's super hard
to treat.
Remember what they said? Lactobacillus is a giant entity that encompasses all kinds. It's basically the equivalent of saying Homo sapiens. So think about how many Homo sapien species there are.
Well, there's one species.
So wasn't that the point? Is that there's so many types of lactobacillus that to really narrow down what you need in your body, specifically as far as lactobacillus. There's just so many types, and so you can't just take a lactobacillus.
Yeah.
It
The only
Oh,
thing.
it would be saying like you're taking trees, okay? Instead of saying, well, is it a palm tree, a fir tree,
So
a pine tree, a
yeah,
deciduous?
the bottom
It's
bottom
just a
line is
generic term.
right. The bottom line is
for
if you're trying
bacteria.
to guzzle tons of lactobacillus in probiotics or yogurt or whatever, really what works the best is just eating tons of more fermented food. So sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, all of that stuff that's fermented food.
Well, a lot of those lactobacillus aren't even alive.
Right. But that stuff appears to enhance your microbiome. Plus, if you're eating sauerkraut, it has some fiber, which may be helpful. Blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is the research is super exciting. Microbiome is unbelievably important, and we hardly know anything about it. And that's the key, because you can look at this stuff online and they're like, we're going to figure out how to change your whatever, and then test you, and they don't. You can't say that. Like, we've talked to the biggest experts in the world on this, and they're like, we don't know.
Correct.
Like, we don't really know. Like, we're doing our best to sort this out. So if you listen, it's like, we're going to test you. We're going to tell you exactly what it is, and then we're going to tell you how to fix it. They're full of crap. So they have more crap than even what you're sending in. No, it's crazy. Like
So there are a few labs that really test accurately, and so if you're really interested in it and getting a true picture of what's going on, Progenobiome would be the one to research. It is in Ventura, California. You can find them online and connect there and email them for test and interpretation.
You can even get a consult too, which is like actual medicine. So that's
so that you get what you pay for, and those cheap mail-in things. I don't know. And
some of them don't
if
even.
If it's ever a blood test,
some of them don't even have like a preservative agent to put your crap in.
I
so
know.
Literally, you are mailing crap in a little box.
Sounds like something from a Saturday Night Live.
No, it sounds like South Park. Like literally, like you're the mailman, and you're just you don't know if you're just delivering some guy's like jacked up stool.
It could be petrified by the time it gets.
This is crazy. I want to send a dog one in.
I have done mine through Progenobiome. Just full disclosure, and you get a printout. It's kind of like a DNA picture. It's very interesting of your bacteria. All right, enough of that. What else have you got for us?
I gotta find it here.
Well, while you're finding, I was gonna say the other exciting things that we did while we're there, because we said that we kind of brushed with greatness. We did also meet a couple other people that have done some amazing things. But one of them is we met with our friend Sophia Carsons again and had dinner with her. She actually has been on our show a couple of times, along with Skyhorse publisher Tony Lyons, talking about RFK's book. And so it was good to see Sophia and catch up with her and find out what's happening in the political world. And
it was good to drive around LA and realize why you don't want to live there.
Oh my gosh, yes. Saw a few burning bum camps that slowed us down. And
welcome to California.
I thought a car was on fire. We got there. I was
burning bum camp.
Yes. Anyway.
Okay, so on a lighter note, we have meme of the week, and this week's is nude photos
of the Sesame Street Muppets have been leaked online.
And it's just a bunch of hands. Yeah, this is kind of cute and stupid, but that's okay. All right.
And I'm supposed to laugh.
Yeah, well, I had some other ones too.
Yes.
There's the one with Jim Jones, and it's like, I got 600 people to drink Kool-Aid, and the next picture over is Fauci, and it's like, hold my beer. I should have put that one up there.
Yeah, actually, I had a couple of things. Let's see if I can find them really quickly. That I thought you were going to talk about.
No, I have a bunch of
They
other
were
stuff we're going to
plane
talk about.
incidents because we were flying.
No. We'll save that. We'll save that for next week. I have a bumper for it and everything. We'll do that. It's called this. This is a teaser for next week. It's called this.
Oh, Unfriendly Skies. The mic is muted while the video plays, apparently.
Yeah. Unfriendly skies. So we will be doing a whole segment next week on the unfriendly skies because we started going down the rabbit hole of looking at what can happen that turns planes around, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's next week.
More things than you would even expect.
Yes, and then we're going to do a little medical history next week as well. See, look at this one right here.
Holy moly!
So yeah, we're gonna get
medical history coming your way. I love the medical history segments. That will be fun.
Yeah, and so
what's out this week on the podcast? You ask.
Doctor.
Well,
yeah, that was a good one.
We have Dr. Jeremy Ayers, I should say, coming to us from across the pond, and he actually
he is a naturopath, but uses a lot of Eastern, like Chinese medicine, which I found unbelievably fascinating. Some of the cases he's taken on used totally different ways of thinking and actually getting people, better. Like, and it's, I don't know. I found it challenging. I don't know how much exactly I agree with, but the conversation was
some of his methods with the alternative practices are fascinating. But I think at the root of it, when you listen to him, is that he really takes a very good history from the patient. He goes way back, like to their childhood, and stacks everything up to see what has happened in the past, from mental health, trauma, to all the things that have impacted health as they were growing up, illnesses they've had, and then honestly just picks that apart and puts it all together. So a lot of it just makes sense. It really is taking a good history.
It was a totally different way of looking at things. And then, of course, he said the best line ever. He said, really taking care of people pumps my nads, which I will be using from now on.
Yeah. So that's a fascinating, if you're interested at all in natural health and wellness practices and avoiding traditional medicine doctors and using everything else in between, you will like that episode. He has an online presence and does actually counseling online. They have a 90-day journey to healing mind, body, and spirit. You can be part of an online group together. And it's almost like sharing some other experiences with other people that you're going through, a support group, database of resources, online community. And you can get consultations a couple times a month with him as well. Just fascinating stuff. So
yeah, no, I found it really interesting.
And really, very fun interview. Lively guy. I'd love to have him on for Doctales. It would be super fun.
Absolutely.
And he actually is on with his colleague, John Gusty, who is actually a warrior for his wife who has a severe medical condition. And that's how the two connected to start this amazing company. So thank you to them for both being on the show. And other than that, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
No, we're good. We're at the 38-minute mark. So that's...
so you're saying wrap it on up, and we'll be back with you again next week. Check out our website. Thanks for tuning in. Hello and happy Friday, everybody, to you. And we'll see you next time.